Welcome back to the RIFF podcast, or if you're new, this is the first episode you're listening to. Welcome! This is a podcast that's all about spreading the love for heavy music. My name is Travis. I'm a metalhead for a long time, and I am just a metal fanatic. So I figured this episode, it's been a long time since I've recorded one of these, but I want to get back into the groove of making these. So as of last week, I'm recording this on June 20th, 2025. The previous week, Metallica finally released the remastered edition of their album Load from 1996. And it's exciting for a lot of reasons that I'm going to get into on this episode. And I'm going to be just taking a step back, revisiting this album. I haven't listened to this album in a long time, so it was nice to get some of those songs back into my regular listening rotation, as well as just seeing what kind of all cool stuff Metallica brought out from their vaults for us to check out on this record. So, as Metallica always does with their reissues, they do not just the remastered edition of the album, but they also do a massive box set for all these albums that have tons of extra content. Like, I'm just looking through on Spotify, you get the entire album remastered. There's tons of live material. There's demos, little riff tapes, like just short clips that are just like, oh, these are just like demos of like original versions of riffs, or stuff that, working titles for songs, full demos of songs, lots of different takes of specific songs. Either they were just rough mixes, vocal mixes, and there's a few like live session covers and stuff like that too. More performances from concerts from all across the world, and throughout Metallica's whole discography up till this point, and even like some early versions of songs from Load and Reload that they didn't record yet. So, what are some of the things that I like about this record? Well, I figured a standard review is kind of pointless for an album that's been around for almost 30 years. I just don't think that it's necessary to be like, because at this point, what else can really be said about Load? But I figured I'd talk a little bit about how the remastered edition actually sounds, and some things that I like and some things that I don't like about this whole box set reissue thing. But so it's not going to be just talking about the music on the album. It's going to be talking about the whole package of sorts. And so I guess I'll just start with the remaster. And so I have some notes written down, and I'm going to be reading off of them. So I have, on the remaster itself, it doesn't sound all that different from the original version, at least to me. That's kind of the thing with Metallica's remasters, is that they're very slight differences, if anything. I feel like what's going to matter the most with these remasters, especially if you compare them to the original versions, is going to be depending on what you listen on. So I just listen to Spotify through either gaming headphones or just JBL earbuds. And I recently picked up the album on vinyl, and I just listened to that on an Audio-Technica LP60 with Bluetooth and with those same earbuds. So I'm on far from an audiophile setup, so I'm not an expert in that realm. But it does sound, to me, it sounds just a slightest bit clearer. Like, it seems like the instrument separation is a little like wider, if that makes any sense. Like, I can hear some of the specific parts better, and the thing is that I notice it the most on the vocals, like especially on the layers, because there are parts of songs like let's say Bleeding Me, where there's multiple layers of vocals that each have like different effects on them. So there's like the main vocal part, and then there's like some random effects. Those layers with the effects are a little bit louder, and that's just something I've noticed, or at least maybe that's just me, almost like a placebo thing, because I haven't listened to this album in a while. But that's something that I don't remember ever hearing from the original version. So that's that. And I think the vocals are just a little bit louder anyways. But that's more of a mixing thing rather than an actual master thing. But I'll move on to my favorite thing about this album, is that it now has the full extended version of the Outlaw Torn. So in case you guys didn't know, in 1996 when the album first came out, since the band was limited by CD space, they had to cut off about a minute of the final track, The Outlaw Torn. It goes on for like an extended guitar solo jam. The original track runs at about 10 minutes and 45 seconds, but the original version of the song has a fade out during that little guitar solo ending jam, and it clocks in at 9:48. And so what's really nice about this is that on the box set itself, it's in here somewhere. I know it's called Outlaw Torn, No More Manufacturing Limits. And technically this isn't a new thing because it was on this extended version was on the Memory Remains single CD, but it's now fully a thing on streaming and you can listen to it in the best possible quality. And I was originally going to talk about how disappointed I was because you can only find this version on the box set and it's not on the standard album. But I will say that the standard vinyl of the remastered edition does have the extended cut of it. And I redeemed my digital code today to get the MP3 files, and that version of the Outlaw Torn is on the standard edition. So I'm really happy about that. So it's more of a nitpick than an actual complaint, but I felt like it needed to be said in case people were lost and would be like, well, why did they? Is it not here? Is it whatever? I'm just completely rambling at this point. But some other things I like. So fun fact, Metallica performed at Lemmy Kilmister's 50th birthday party. And at that, they performed a bunch of Motorhead covers. And there's actually some new ones. So there were a few that were on Garage Inc., but there's actually two new ones, as far as I understand. There's two more ones. The main one of focus that I really like is The Chase is Better Than the Catch. This is a really great song by Motorhead. It's probably one of my favorite Motorhead songs, and Metallica did a great job covering it, so I'm glad that this is available to stream. And for being a live cut, technically, it's produced pretty well. They definitely did a really good job with remastering it and getting it in as high of quality as possible, because some of them, I wasn't really crazy about the Motorhead covers on Garage Inc. because I didn't think they really sounded that great, but they sound a little bit better on this box set version. So that's really nice. I haven't listened to all of this stuff. I'll admit I haven't listened to all the live tracks and all the remixes and demo tracks and stuff like that. I might check out some of these live performances, but yeah, I'm not too sure. This is a lot of stuff to go through. Like this would take you a long time to do it. Unless you just decide to say fuck it and just listen to the whole thing straight through, which I wouldn't recommend that, because even though I love Metallica, I don't love them that much. I need variety. I need something to break up the monotony. So, but to anybody that's doing that, I commend you for it. And again, this is all the stuff that's on streaming. I'm pretty sure the physical box set has a lot more stuff to it. It has more DVDs and stuff like that. Of course, like I saw like little patches and live DVDs and just all sorts of extra goodies for those that want to get it. So I recommend picking it up if you're interested in that. But I just picked up the vinyl recently. It's actually the Walmart exclusive edition. I was kind of surprised because I knew that Walmart had an exclusive pressing of Load a few years ago, but I didn't think that they would be doing the remastered edition as an exclusive color variant, so that was really nice. And as far as not to really do a vinyl review, but it sounds good. Again, I'm not listening through an audiophile setup or anything, but it does sound pretty good. I certainly cannot complain. I mean, all of my Metallica vinyls are remasters, and I think they all sound perfectly fine. Well, they're not all remastered except for Hardwired and 72 Seasons, but again, I'm just going off of a tangent that isn't really needed. So I think I want to keep these episodes a little bit shorter, so I think I'm going to cut it off here. This was a nice... Actually, no. A couple things that I'll say about this record. I think that time has been a lot kinder to this album than maybe was originally in the 90s. I think it's because Metallica have really cemented themselves as this band that can do hard rock stuff as well as thrash and kind of anything in between that. So people are more used to Metallica not being like just strictly a thrash metal band like they were in the 80s. So I think people are a lot more receptive to the stuff. And it's kind of just how I feel like certain things get appreciated much later when they come out. I mean, the band Creed has kind of dealt with that, and same like Nickelback, and like really all that kind of stuff, like the post grunge stuff. People are really coming around to it, and I think Metallica's '90s material is no different. Because if you probably would have asked somebody 10, 20 years ago what they thought of Load that were like diehard Metallica fans back in the day, they'd probably would have hated it. But now I think people are more receptive to it and realizing that, hey, some of these songs are actually quite good. My personal favorite songs are, besides like the obvious singles like King Nothing, Bleeding Me, Hero of the Day, Until It Sleeps, I really like Wasting My Hate, Thorn Within, obviously The Outlaw Torn. Ronnie's a pretty decent song. It's pretty catchy. Same with Poor Twisted Me, Cure. 2x4 is fun as well. I mean, I like every single song on this album. I'm not afraid to say it. Even Mama Said's pretty good as like a country rock tune. But like I said, this isn't really a review. So I think I will actually cut it here. Because I do want to keep these episodes shorter, around 10 to 20 minutes in length, because nobody has time for yapping an hour straight about an album that came out almost 30 years ago. So with that said, I hope you all enjoyed this episode, this little review revisit of Load. Next episode, I'm not going to reveal what it is yet, but it will be about a certain band that's really been blowing up right now. I think you guys will be interested in what I have to say about them. So, everybody, take care. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.